Human trafficking is the illegal movement of people, typically for the purpose of forced labor or commercial sexual exploitation. It can be seen everywhere in the world, but a huge quantity of it can be found in Thailand. People are brought to Thailand for forced labor as well as being trafficked inside of the country itself. There are many causes to human trafficking, one being that the country is in poverty overall. In many parts of Thailand, families are suffering from being in poverty, so they acquire any job that they can. They have nothing to fight for, which enables them to be seen as vulnerable. Being stateless is another cause because when someone is stateless, they pretty much have no assigned rights to themselves. Women, children, and men are being taken away from their families and homes to become forced workers or used for sexual exploitation. They are usually taken from neighboring countries as well as North Korea, Vietnam, Pakistan, and Burma. These migrants are forced and defrauded into labor or commercial sexual exploitation unwillingly. Most of the labor force is in small domestic workforces. Children are forced to sell flowers, beg, work in agricultural, domestic services, or be a part of sexual exploitation. Child prostitution is becoming more profound because of human trafficking, but there isn't much to do about it because most places where this occurs do not have strict law enforcement. Sex tourism falls under the same chart as child prostitution because of the law. Nothing goes against sex tourism, making it pretty much legal for people to do. Men are forced to work in the fishing and seafood industry due to the people not wanting the occupation. They are forced to do the work that nobody else wants to do. Women and girls are used as personal slaves for the sole purpose of commercial sexual exploitation. Nobody has been able to stop this phenomenon from occurring, and without education or punishment to the people committing the act, it will never end. Human trafficking violates the articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It goes against the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 12th, 13th, 20th, 23rd, 25th, and 26th. They all pretty much state that every individual has a right to their own bodies, religion, thoughts, and possession. That every person is given the right to leave or enter a country at their own will, and be able to do as they please without feeling obligated or forced to. Being a victim of human trafficking is the equivalence of becoming a slave, which is against the Declaration. The 23rd article states that every person has a right to their own employment, which is one of the main purposes of human trafficking. People have the right to live the life that they please, and do not deserve for it to be taken away from them. Human trafficking takes away every right a person is given at birth, and should be stopped. No one deserves to be someone else's possession.
There are many long-term and short-term effects of human trafficking in Thailand. Men and women who are affected by this are living their everyday lives in fear of being abducted. Whenever they leave their homes, they have to be constantly scared that they might not return. Stealing humans from their lives, family, and their freedom contradicts everything that the Declaration of Human Rights states. Some major short-term effects that human trafficking in Thailand has caused are the physical and mental well-being of the victims of trafficking. When people are abducted and held in the conditions that they are, health is not a big concern to the ones who hold them. It is very common for a trafficked man or woman to develop a disease or sickness that will not be treated, whether it is from forced labor or sexual exploitation. Some long-term effects of this issue are the effects that it has on the economy and safety of the citizens. The trafficking industry in Thailand makes billions annually. By abducting people who live and work freely in Thailand to live and work for no pay and depraved living conditions, it has taken away from the job opportunities to help the country. So many citizens have been stolen and sent to and from Thailand that it has basically crippled the economy. They have too many laborers and not enough educated citizens to eventually help the government and economy. Globalization has had a positive effect on human trafficking in Thailand by broadening the world's awareness to this horrible industry. The increased connections to the internet that the world today has come to consider normal has its positive sides. Because reaching and communicating with others around the world is so easy today, it has practically encouraged people to spread their opinions, ideas, and even concerns with people who may not have had the chance to hear about it if not for the internet and the access it allows to all that use it. Because Thailand has no actual comprehensive anti-trafficking laws, those who are prosecuted are only accountable for certain charges, none directly including human trafficking. Most people who have been prosecuted have only faced up to 7 years in prison, but it is most common for the prosecuted to only serve 1 year in jail. which is not sufficient. By this information being public and open to other countries' knowledge, it has led to the aid of countries like the U.S. to better help enforce and create laws that can help diminish the spread of trafficking in Thailand. Globalization has had a negative effect on trafficking in Thailand by making the marketing and demand of these citizens, whether it is for the purpose of sexual exploitation of women and even young children, or the forced labor for men. The connections that the world today has led to the uncontrollable expansion of this industry. The fact that millions of people are brought into and out of Thailand for the purpose of forced labor for those who will pay is all due to the simple fact that anyone can request something, or in this case someone, from halfway across the world, simply through the internet or a contact made through it. Because globalization has led to an increased amount of outsourcing in Thailand, it has led to the search for cheap labor that large companies and traffickers look for constantly. This leads to the non-stop cycle of companies searching for